2, 1. Hey, everybody. Welcome to the last and final day of Crypto Basel. Thank you for hanging out with us all 4 days. We have a very, very special, I say that for every panel because you know what? We're literally bringing you guys fire. I know it's cold outside. I know it's winter. So warm yourselves up, get close to the screen, turn up the volume, and get ready for this fire. Also, make sure that you like and subscribe. Smash the thumbs up button. Let us know you like it. Send us some feedback. Let us know what you don't like so we can refine these programs and keep serving you guys massive, massive value. We are joined today by our moderator, John Block, who has the club
Territory.
I guess because we were talking about New York, I keep thinking Terminal 5.
Yeah.
But yeah, so has the club Territory. We had a after party there last night. It was lit. So he's going to give us a tour of his club, show us around while we're having this session. And then we're going to visit Dow Records inside the metaverse as well, inside of CryptoVoxels, show you their space, show you guys around, show you what's going on with two of the people who are really doing it on the blockchain. And then we have new friends. Bjorn from Rocki is here, and we have AJ from Phlote. Thank you guys for being with us today.
Yeah,
John,
thanks for having
take
us.
it away.
All right, gentlemen, how you guys doing?
Yeah, we're doing great. Thank you.
Hey, this is super awesome. So glad to be here. So it's all about the music, and we're like pushing the borders and the frontier of what's possible. So maybe let's kind of make the rounds and just kind of introduce ourselves. Based on my screen, I see like AJ. So tell us a little about yourselves, who you're with, and what you got going on.
Yeah. So AJ Washington. I am a co-founder of Phlote. Phlote is a business analytics platform built specifically for artists on the blockchain. It's me and a co-founder of mine have started this as a way to help artists. Really, the foundation of this is, we appreciate art and artists and want more artists to exist in this world, and feel that, the way that the industry is built around artists makes that a challenge. And so we believe that, artists really need business infrastructure in order to enhance and elevate their art, and want to provide that business infrastructure to match with the artist's creativity to allow them to blast off. And so that's what we're all about.
Okay, super dope. Real one question before we move to the next person. Is it just artists in general, or is this music specifically, visual arts?
It's yeah, so thank you for asking that. So yeah, it's specifically for independent recording artists.
Okay.
We believe that there's a huge space in the world of music for independent artists to exist. And unlike a lot of other professional entertainment realms, the music industry is one that's interesting because you have the majors and then you have sort of everyone else. There's no minors, there's no NCAA, varsity JV or freshmen. And we think, the way that it's currently constructed, the music industry really serves kind of 1% of artists globally. And so it could be, massively larger. A $43 billion industry is interesting when you think that, it could be undersized, pretty massively. And so we want to add curation to the market and create a platform that is specifically built for independent artists and built around a curation community that's made up of DJs and songwriters and producers and sound engineers who act as our A&R. And so it's a decentralized sort of discovery platform built to help, support artists.
Man, that's awesome. That's really awesome. Look forward to hearing more about it with the conversation. All right, Bjorn, what's up, man? How you doing and what's going on?
Good. Thanks for having me. Super excited to be here. My name is Bjorn Niklas. I'm the CEO and co-founder of Rocki, which is a next generation music streaming platform on the blockchain. And we focus basically on a hybrid payment model. Both we have a fiat subscription model in a user-centric way. So basically the revenue goes only to the artists and music that you are streaming, which is the opposite of how Spotify does it with their pro rata payment system. And of course, there is a subscription in our Rocks cryptocurrency as well. And we also focus on rewarding the listener for listening to music with the sponsor curated section. So actually, we're trying to make fans and listeners coming more from a passive side and making them more as active participant in the Rocki ecosystem. And we're also building out our NFT section, and we have 2 music NFTs for Rocki that we can talk about. One is a really exciting royalty income NFT, and the other one is a exclusive listening right NFT. So we're super excited about the whole world of NFTs and what it can mean for artists, both on getting new upfront revenue and bringing in their fans to become more actively involved in the artist career and the music, earnings, etc.
That's pretty epic, man. And so we're going to make the rounds. We're going to come back to that. We're going to talk more about the NFT projects you have going on, talk about the massive sale recently, the bidding war. So we're going to talk about that as well. So for the intros, let's move over to Vandal. What's up, brother? How are you?
What's going on? Thanks for having me. Appreciate it.
Our pleasure. So tell the people who you are, what's going on.
Well, I'm Vandal, founder of DAO Records, hip hop artist, entrepreneur, and community builder, I guess. DAO Records is basically an ecosystem for artists on the blockchain, specifically focused on musicians in all aspects of the metaverse, from audio NFTs to events and crypto voxels, to just building up a community around onboarding different artists into the ecosystem. And then just basically having fun and experimenting, which is what we've been doing for the past, I guess, 9 months. And that's pretty much sums it up, I think. Yeah.
Oh, that's pretty awesome. So kind of jumping right into it, gentlemen, all of us here, definitely pioneers, right? So way out front in like a lot of the, the major, as you were mentioning, the major music industry, a lot of those cats aren't even up on this yet. They're kind of doing their own thing. So how do you feel being a pioneer about this space? Do you feel like, you're with the experiments, your fails and successes that, the major labels or artists then will just kind of come into this world and see what you're doing and learn what you're doing? You're looking to collaborate with them. How do you feel about being a pioneer kind of out in the front in this space? I'll pick anybody. Go ahead, jump in.
All right. I think it's exciting because, I come from, early 90s Toronto hip hop generation, before mainstream, radio stations picked up hip hop, before there were clubs, before venues, allowed us to do shows and all that kind of thing. So to me, this whole ecosystem is very similar to that. It's underground, it's exciting, it's innovative. There's so much bubbling and a lot of collaboration that's happening. So for me, I'm just excited to be here and be a part of this, and to experiment with new things and try things and just get people into the space and help to build something better for everyone. And I guess my opinion in terms of the music industry and everything is that, this is music industry 2.0. And I don't think it's going to work by taking the things that are already existing in the music industry and kind of porting them over onto the blockchain. This is going to be a ground up kind of thing. A new generation of artists are going to be the ones who kind of push the envelope on this. And we're probably going to see some platforms and some initiatives that come around that we don't know about yet. That's going to be like the catalyst that makes it go viral for everybody.
I 100% agree on that. I'm under the impression that what I call the legacy music industry, it's not fixable, right? We see a lot of companies over the years have tried to fix the broken music industry, but in my personal opinion, the music industry may not want to be fixed, right? It was created in the days of sheet music and jukeboxes, and it was set up in a specific way. It's really complicated. I don't really fully know it after being in the space for 20 years. There's a lot of mystery happening on this deal. So I'm on the impression that, I'm not even going to touch to try to integrate with the legacy music industry. Instead, as Vandal said, I think the next generation will basically build something freestanding. So with Rocki, we don't even integrate with the traditional music industry. We just basically build Rocki from the ground up and add these type of new technologies and tools for artists that may not be compatible being on Spotify or somewhere else, for example. So I think the new generation is kind of jumping on board with this, with owning your own rights. Don't sign a long-term record deal. Music NFTs, for example, figuring out new ways of earning that maybe not a part of the traditional space. So I totally agree with Vandal there. I think the next generation coming into this are going to use tools and look at these type of freestanding platforms that are basically building their own music industry.
Yeah, no, and I couldn't agree more. I think, just like Bjorn said, the legacy music industry has really been built around opaqueness and confusion. And I think, what blockchain enables is transparency and fairness and openness, right? And I think, as it relates to artists, recording artists, and really the ecosystem of creatives around music, there is a chance here to widen the opportunity set for everyone. I think, the traditional music industry, a lot of the profits have been siphoned off by intermediaries. And I think the opportunity that presents itself with the employment of blockchain technology and NFTs and this whole new ecosystem that we're building is a more fair system for everyone involved. And I think that is, that's really what really excites us, and the ability to sort of lead the industry to this new location, right? And I think the legacy industry can kind of continue to operate as they have. They can evolve if they, decide to, but we want to provide, I think us in tandem with folks like Bjorn and Vandal, we want to provide recording artists with a different alternative or an alternative solution to existing. And I think, like I said before, the traditional music industry is just too small. They don't have the bandwidth to process, right, and find and elevate all the artists that are in the world now. And, that number is only going up with the democratization of, technology that allows artists to make music pretty easily and distribute it, even easier. And so I think it's just, again, like it's almost a constraint issue that is going to force there to need to be alternatives that, we hope will be on the blockchain.
Super dope, super dope. So let's, kind of carve things out. Let's talk about, the music, and then we'll talk about the artists. So as far as the music, what type of music would you say is out there mainly? Is it EDM? Is it hip hop? Is it country? Is country taking over the crypto space? What genres are you hearing right now? What are you excited about? Let's start with Vandal.
You know what? Everything, to be honest, whoever's in the space, because currently I think, there aren't a lot of musicians in the space yet. The ones who've kind of made the headlines tend to be the more along the electronic music lines. But that what we're doing, and especially because I guess my background is hip hop, I've been just bringing in a lot of hip hop artists, introducing them, getting them involved in our pop-up series, which is the collaboration between artists and musicians, and just getting them exposed to the idea of crypto, of blockchain, of audio NFTs, of NFTs in general, of virtual worlds, and getting their feet wet in the ecosystem. So it's really open for any musician from any genre, to be honest.
Okay. And Bjorn, on streaming, what kind of genres, what kind of music is streaming right now?
Good questions. And I was actually a co-founder of a previous music streaming company on the blockchain called Tune, which we launched on May 1st, 2018. It was a great project, and we had thousands of artists and thousands of songs. But unfortunately, we launched that company right at the 2018 summer crypto bloodbath, and it became very difficult to scale that company. But what we saw there, and what we've been seeing on Rocki during our 4-month private beta test now, it's kind of like Vandal says, we have everything from jazz and country to hip hop and EDM. It tends to be maybe a little bit more EDM focused, especially since a lot of those young producers are super acquainted with technology and crypto. But we try to build a great platform, and no matter what type of music genre and music style that you produce, all the functions work the same. And we have something called a smart record contract. So when you upload a song and you have multiple stakeholders in that song, and whether that's a 10-piece jazz band or if it's just you and me making a song, when we upload the song, we'll enter in our deal points, and that gets stored in the blockchain. And when the song is being streamed, it basically compensates us in our online wallets on Rocki. So it's we actually have a couple of bigger jazz bands that have, I think one has up to 18 members who are each getting a percentage point of the streaming royalties. So I think that maybe EDM is probably the most popular, but if we make it easy enough and make the functions for everybody, you don't need to be a blockchain or crypto expert in order to upload a song, for example, on our platform. Then I think you can get some pretty broad mainstream appeal, which is our goal.
Super,
Yeah.
super dope. How about you, AJ? What are you coming
Yeah.
across?
Yeah, so I think we're really focused on our curation community being the source of the talent that we bring onto our platform, and I'd say, it's mainly made up of Black creatives, right? So that's going to be soul music, hip hop, rap, maybe some alternative, and really I think what we're trying to elevate ourselves to become is sort of the aggregator of genre-less music, right? And so genre fluid music that can sort of doesn't really fit in a category, more fits in a mood or a vibe. And I think that's sort of the lane that we'll pursue. We are actually launching, soft launching today with an artist that's a rapper out of DC called KP Cannons. And so we hope that hip hop, like Vandal, we hope hip hop kind of moves this way. And we're seeing that already. Little Yachty just launched Yachty Coin. I think that's that is going to be a beacon for a lot of young artists who aren't familiar with crypto or might be familiar with crypto as a trading strategy, but we'll look at it more as a way to crowdsource from their fans, and we hope that's the end goal. But we'd love to bring more of hip hop and soul music and just a wider perspective of music into this, because I think hip hop, especially with technology, as Vandal was alluding to earlier, I think it just makes a lot of sense. Like, hip hop is a very close community of active participants that are about experimentation and disruption. I think the blockchain community is very similar.
Super dope. All right, so I play devil's advocate. I'm an artist. I'm making beats. I'm doing hip hop. I hear about you guys. Heard about this blockchain thing. I don't know much about it. I know major labels back in the day, they're not making money. Nobody's buying, music anymore. I'm pissed off. You guys, like, what do you do for artists like that? Somebody listening to this. How do I make money from this? Like, let's start with you again, AJ. We're going to the line. How do I make money?
Yeah. I think, to me, and really this is the foundation of our theory, is that artists are entrepreneurs. And, if they're entrepreneurs, they can be funded like startup founders. And if they're funded like startup founders, we need to get them to find a buying customer. So, as we all know, like, money is not made in the traditional streaming world. I think what Rocki and, others are doing on blockchain is really interesting. But ultimately, we need to find and isolate for the artist, for you, the DJ, customer base that is willing to buy something from you. And hopefully it's music. I think, the reason why artists are, getting into fashion and merch and all these ancillary lines of business, because they can't make money on music. But, our belief is that fundamentally an artist wants to be selling their music to a fan base, and we want to help them do that. And so there are ways to sort of isolate a paying customer base and then giving them what they need and growing that base. And that's what the technology that we are building will help artists do.
Excellent. All right, Bjorn. What do you think? So how do you make money? And I say, coming off of what AJ said, so I hear that someone knows them nothing. They're like, okay, why would someone buy music? Why would I buy music when I can just go to Spotify and press play and just listen for free? I don't want MP3s clogging up my hard drive. That's old school. Like, why would I buy music? Bjorn.
Yeah, this is a really kind of, deep question, right? I mean, if we look at kind of user behavior in the music space, we used to get enjoyment from buying physical goods, physical CDs, albums, records. Of course, when Napster came along and killed MP3 sales, and then we moved over to streaming, which is the thing right now, and that's the user behavior that's been taught. We rent access to music. It's on demand anytime we want. Any song in the world is just a press of a button away. Sadly, with that, of course, the financial compensation model for at least the independent artists is not really something to make a living on compared to what the 1% are making. So I think now during this pandemic, and there's no income from live events, right? And there might not even be any until next summer. I think it's more and more important to be able to earn some sort of decent living on on streaming or for example, download. So at Rocki, we have two kinds of payment system. One is basically a fiat subscription model where the majority of the revenue goes only to the music that you listen to. So if I pay $8 a month in USD and I only stream AJ's music, the bulk of that money will go to him only and not go into this general pool where whoever has the biggest fan base is going to benefit, which is how Spotify does it. That's one. And then we have basically a daily payment of our Rocks crypto that is paid out on a pro rata version to everyone who has streams that day. And of course, the goal with that is basically to, number one, not only be dependent on crypto for our payments. And we noticed this with my old company, Tune. People are really exciting when we are paying out a lot and there's a value of the currency. But what happens when there's a cryptocurrency market crash, right? All of your earnings can be reduced significantly, and it's not that much fun anymore. So that's why when launching Rocki, we had a kind of a thought about this a lot. How do we basically try to be kind of independent if the market happens to go down, if there's another type of maybe there's some sort of super big hack that causes the crypto industry to go down or whatever it might be, that we have some sort of backup revenue stream, which is the fiat subscription model on a user-centric payment structure. So that's what we kind of think is what's going to be working for us. That you have an option both to earn crypto from our daily streams and then to receive fiat subscription revenue as well.
Yeah, and one other thing to add. I mean, I think what Bjorn and Rocki have done with the NFT is really a key transition point for music, because we believe that NFTs really are the future of music, how music will be consumed, how it'll be distributed, and how it will be ultimately traded. Because what NFTs enable isn't just the ownership of music and potentially of royalties, that we'll talk about, but also they unlock experiences that are exclusive for the owners of those NFTs. And I think if I'm an artist, what a great way to one, identify my super fans, and then give them exclusive experiences, right? And I think that's something that all artists can use to get paid.
Yeah, exactly. Sure. And I look forward to diving into the subject. I completely agree with you, AJ.
Yeah, so we're going to do this. I'm going to get a comment from Vandal about this, and then we're going to talk about NFTs. So you're setting up the conversation right now, Vandal, for NFTs. So again, an artist says to you, Vandal, you're talking to a new hip hop artist, and you're like, yo, let me get you down with what's going on. I'm doing this stuff in the blockchain space. What do you say to artists when he's like, yo, how am I going to get paid? What are you telling him? How are you explaining this to him of how he can earn money from music?
For me, it's pretty simple. It's about facilitating alternative revenue streams, because like for us, it's the blockchain and everything that's happening is a massive ecosystem. There are so many opportunities for artists, and it's not about like, hey, come to Dow Records, or like it's not about that for us at all. It's more about, hey, these are all the cool things that are happening. Go and explore, dive down the rabbit hole, help people with the onboarding process, whether it's MetaMask, whatever it is. Hopefully it'll be easier in the future. These are the steps that I think a lot of us are taking to make it easier, to make it sort of a one-step thing rather than an 8-step thing for artists. Because artists, time is money, right? And they're in the studio, or they're trying to hustle to get by or to make a living, and figure out how they're going to do it given the low streaming revenue model that's in place currently. And there's no live gigs or touring happening right now, so a lot of people are looking for alternatives. So for us, it's like we have things that we're doing, but there are also so many things that everybody else is doing in the ecosystem. So by working together, by helping each other, by kind of putting together this whole ecosystem in a way where we can, I guess, become not a platform, but become a gateway to this world. I think that that's the most valuable thing that we can add to this, and also through experimentation with artists who really want to just try new things, because I think that's the beauty of artists and creativity, is that once like I've been in the space for a while and I've been seeing it, and for me it's like once the creatives step in, that's when we're going to see the changes happen, and that's happening now. Yeah.
For sure, for sure. It's a perfect segue. Thank you, Vandal. So with NFTs is the topic, gentlemen. I would love to hear from each of you. Maybe we'll start with you, Bjorn, about a current NFT project that you're working with or have worked with, you're really excited about. Tell us about it.
Yeah, sure. So basically, NFT for us is also something that we're super focusing on, and we believe that it can be a huge part of artists' revenue and fan engagement for the future. Just like AJ said, we started the other day with our first NFT auction, and basically Rocki has two types of what we call music NFTs, which both do very different things. The first one is a ERC 721 music NFT that we basically sell as a royalty income right. So an artist can basically sell as many percentage of future royalty income right as an NFT. And we did our first auction yesterday with a Israeli progressive house master, Guy J, who is the label boss of Lost and Found, a huge artist in the underground progressive techno world, plays all over the world. And he basically sold the first ERC 721 royalty income right for 50% of future earnings of a song Cotton Eyes on Rocki. And we've been testing this platform called Bounce, which is a decentralized auction protocol. Obviously this was an external auction on their platform, but we're looking to basically white label some sort of solution and import that into Rocki. So the entire experience for participating and bidding and selling and trading these NFTs will happen on the Rocki platform in the future. But this particular auction was a huge success. It ended up closing at 40 ETH, which is almost $24,000.
Wow,
it's really amazing. And I think it was to a crazy fan who wanted to basically maybe be close to the DJ or whatnot and the producer. But it just kind of shows you that can we create a new revenue stream where the artist Vandal can earn some cash up front, right, to sell a future royalty income right for a piece of music, which he can then take to buy a new keyboard or pay rent, or not having to take a third job delivering pizza, for example, in this kind of trying times that we're in. Plus it becomes something that if you are a stakeholder of the earnings of a song, it's almost like, hey, AJ offers me to buy 20% equity in his company and I invest in his company. Of course, I'm going to do my best to bring him more business, to open up my network, to help develop and scale his company, because now I am a stakeholder. I want the company to be successful. I want him to make a profit with my contribution being involved in the company. So we believe that it's going to have the same effect for artists, where this particular auction was for 50% in one go, but it could be even broken up to 50 pieces of 1% each. So if you're an artist and you're releasing one of these royalty income rights NFTs, if you can get an army of stakeholders that then also we think will work as promoters of that song and the artist, that could open up a whole new supercharged fan engagement situations, where we take fans who are normally more on the passive side, whether they use Spotify, Apple Music. I use Spotify and it's great, and I have a playlist for the gym, I have a playlist for that, playlist for this, but I press play and I listen, and that's it. I'm passive. I'm a passive listener. It serves a great function and is easy to use, and I love it. It's great. But how do we make those fans instead go from the passive side to active? And what can happen on that active part? Can they start promoting it to their friends? Can they start sending out links to music blogs, etc.? Are they talking to maybe promoters to get the artist booked somewhere? Because now they're they are stakeholders in someone's career, which we believe could be, the next level of, fan engagement as well. So that's one of them. And that was, of course, extremely successful. The artist is, beyond excited for, I mean, if we look at 2020, there's very few people who actually made any money playing gigs due to the pandemic. So I think it comes in a really good time for that artist. And then the other one is basically another really interesting one, which is the ARC 1155 music NFT that we use as a exclusive listening right privilege. And the same thing there, the artist can issue, anywhere from 1 to 1,000 of these listening rights NFTs and put them at a specific price. So it becomes more of a collectible, private, exclusive access that only you can unlock to play that song on Rocki and in your playlist. And of course, if I look at my own type of music behavior, when I hear a song that I love, I fall in love and I go crazy. I'll hear that song on repeat for weeks. I'll just milk the crap out of it, and I love it. I hear it in the car, in traffic here in LA, at the gym, for walks. I love it. And then one day I wake up and it's like, I'm not feeling it anymore. and then, of course, you add something new. But the cool thing about this is, this is now a tradable asset that I have. And if I bought it for whatever amount it might be, a quarter of an ETH, for example, there's now going to be a secondary market on Rocki where fans and listeners can basically trade these, listening rights per se. And I collect old vinyl, have a great collection, and it brings me a lot of joy when I can bring out something exclusive that my friends has never heard, and it's really difficult to get because maybe they only printed X amount when they pressed the vinyl. And I think, that's one thing that's kind of been lagging in this digital world is the sense of having ownership and having a special relationship to that piece of music. And I think, NFTs can be great for that.
That's pretty awesome, man. That is amazing. What's really cool is we're talking about this stuff casually, but this is like crazy. This is really crazy when you think about it. This is insane. Yeah. So I just recap, Bjorn, that is the future, right? So you're talking about an artist has a song, fans, influencers, whoever can support that, invest in it. And have a percentage of the royalties, and they can take that asset and then sell it or trade it. It can increase in value.
Yeah.
That's such a game changer. That's real stats. You think in the modern world, you have your Beyonce's or, Jay-Z, Christina Aguilera, whoever's hot right now. You have all this kind of media and press and PR people pushing them, and you have the idea that that's the number one person. But this sense of the fans and people actually choosing, and you can see almost a fan or celebrity market, almost like the stock market being traded and who's hot and who's not based on a single, this is just crazy, man. This is crazy.
It really is. And if you take a guy like Chance the Rapper, for example, one of the biggest independent artists in the world, technically he could issue a music NFT, whether that's a listening right or break it down to small pieces of royalty income in that song, to 10,000 of them, for example. And imagine what would happen if there's 10,000 people walking around with this exclusive NFT rights. There's a secondary market where people are buying and trading it. There's people going crazy to promote it because, either it's going to go up in value because everybody's pitching in to promote this music. I mean, I always say if I would give AJ $10,000 to promote his music on Facebook to drive more listeners, to drive more engagement, it's going to do nothing.
Exactly.
It's a drop in the ocean. Nothing is going to happen.
Yep.
But imagine if instead these people were, financially vested in that song, and it just spreads out on a whole community level. I think the overall fan engagement and the results that we will see long term will far, supersede anything I've ever seen before.
Oh man, it's the future. This is insane. So with Bjorn just kind of set up, right, Rocki? This is really cool. So With Bjorn just set up, AJ, on your end, you're talking about, managing and supporting artists. So you're going to be
Right.
working with these new mindset of this new artist and this future way of how it's going and preparing them for this type of world and this kind of platform. So tell me, AJ, about NFTs in your space. What are you saying to your artists? What are you guys developing, or what are you excited about?
Yeah, no, I mean, the same. I think the same energy and excitement that Bjorn has is how we feel about NFTs generally. I think, that's just a whole new experience for fans and a whole new experience for artists together. The way we think about it is, we think that, again, that artists are entrepreneurs, and if they are thought of as startup founders, then, how are they raising capital? They're raising capital by issuing things like NFTs that deliver a share of their IP to a fan base. And what's interesting is, as we talk to our curator community, and these are folks, again, that are, DJs and producers and songwriters, folks that have good ears for music that are in the industry. We thought they would be very excited about the opportunity to be with other like-minded people who have great selections of music that they can share, together and aggregate together. But what really excites them is the opportunity to invest in music, right? And you can think that, someone, and I'm sure you're of the same mindset, like, there's plenty of artists that you've known when they were small before they kind of blew up. And you could hear it. You could, you were a fan of them early, and you had the ability to share that music with your social circle in a way that is a great feeling. Everyone loves that feeling of discovery, and then the feeling of like sharing that music and putting people on. Now, what you have the opportunity to do with NFTs is invest in your ear, right? And so not only do you identify those acts early that you think could do something bigger later on and who you really want to support, but you can put money behind that and grow alongside them. Like Bjorn said, you can sort of identify yourself as an early adopter of that artist and really timestamp your fandom like you couldn't do before. So now with NFTs, you have the ability to say, oh, I've been a fan of Drake since 2005 and 2004, and I have this NFT that shows it. And so imagine if you had a collection of Drake NFTs from that time to now. Like, crazy. I mean,
yeah,
right,
crazy,
right.
Crazy.
How a lot of wealth would have been generated for a lot of people over that time. And so, just back to Phlote and what we are doing, we are really connecting, artists with the investment community. So my background is in investments. I worked on Wall Street for 10 plus years for some of the largest alternative asset management firms, on the planet. And, when I think about IP relative to all the other asset classes that I know, they don't hold a candle because, what you get as an investor in IP, right, and through NFTs is an asset that is not sensitive to business cycles or economic cycles or debt cycles. You get an asset that typically does well through any sort of economic environment. Like, people are always listening to music and streaming music, and I don't think that's going away. That's a part of our culture. And you get, something that lasts into perpetuity. So this is an asset that, you would pass along to your, grandkids and, could last in your family for a very long time. And so there aren't that many opportunities in the investment world where that exists, right? And I think the other thing that's really attractive for us about the NFT space is the fact that it allows, again, like everyone to sort of be an A&R, right? And it just broadens that opportunity to everyone and allows them to find and invest in, the best music that they can identify. And so again, I think it's a great thing for artists, and we want to help artists sort of pursue this opportunity. We want to help our curation community also identify the best art to purchase in this way. And we want to help both sides make more informed decisions, which is why we think analytics is a big part of it, both for the artist and for the consumer or the curator.
Man, that's awesome. That's really cool. And Vandal, I know you've been dropping some dope NFTs and collaborating with artists and that kind of stuff. Tell me about some of the NFT projects you've been working on of late that you're really excited about.
I want to bring it back a little bit first.
Okay.
Back when we released our first NFT was around February, March, and we did a similar thing where we included some of the royalties from the streaming revenue in that with the 10% for the buyer of the NFT. And this happened like right when Rarible actually introduced the unlock feature. I had been talking to the people from Unlock about how we could figure out how to include like audio or other files in with NFTs. And that kind of like was, I guess, the spark with Rarible by including that into the NFT for our first release. Then after that, it kind of moved into how can we create this, I guess, due to the COVID situation that popped up literally like right around that time, how can we create, an alternative revenue stream for artists? And then, I've been active in crypto voxels, and I was thinking, all right, let's do this little pop-up, and we can get artists and musicians together to collaborate, and we can kind of figure out different ways that we can help artists make some money. So we did that, and we had some NFTs there, and then season 2 came around, which was, I guess, in July, late July, August, and we tried something new because at that time I'd been like pestering Mintbase about doing audio NFTs, and then Nate and the whole Mintbase team, they were super awesome. They integrated the audio element into the on-chain data and the metadata, and basically was like, here you go. And I was like, yes, first audio NFT. I was hoping for season 1 of the pop-up, but it basically was the kickoff to season 2. And then we kind of attached that to a physical USB cassette that the purchaser of the NFT then receive all the music and the art that appeared, during pop-up season 1. So we fundraised actually pop-up season 2 in advance by selling 15 tune passes at 1 ETH each at that time for everybody to collect who had a tune pass to be able to collect the audio NFTs that were created in season 2, which was like 24 different artists. So at the end of season 2, which just happened recently, we were able to give back like 6.5 ETH to all the different artists involved in the whole program. And a lot of them like didn't even have ETH addresses. And I'm like, yo, do you want to get paid? I got this money for you. It's like, so these are the kind of ways that we've been experimenting and kind of pushing forward with the NFTs and the music side. And most recently, we've been able to do something really interesting through a project that we're involved in called NFT Wrapper, which is essentially wrapping NFTs. So we've taken the NFTs from our DAO Records contract on Mintbase, all the NFTs that were basically published there. Owners of those NFTs can now put them into a vault and in exchange receive these liquidity tokens that they can use on Uniswap to invest in the NFTs that are in the ecosystem.
Oh, wow, that's
So
awesome.
this next kind of stage of what we're messing around with there, and looking at different ways of how we can actually have royalties go back to the artists past the secondary market and sales, as well as the interoperability between royalties. So having these royalties baked into the NFTs themselves, because for us, that's important, right? If you're on one platform, you're on Rarible and you've got like, the royalty system on Rarible, but if you sell your NFT on OpenSea, that royalty is not applicable because that's only through Rarible. So we're trying to figure out different ways where we can really like include all of these elements into the actual NFT and then create an ecosystem where artists can be their own platforms, that they can have control over their masters and what they want to do with it, with their publishing and all the rest of it, and then just kind of be the facilitator of that through NFTs. I think that's
Man, that's pretty awesome. So we're talking about NFTs. So quickly, let's run through. Tell me like what platform you're loving. Vandal, you mentioned Mintbase. Is that your spot for minting?
This is, Mintbase has been a huge supporter for us and what we're doing, and they've always kind of made an effort to try and, like I'm bugging them about different features and different things, and I like what they're doing with Near at the moment is trying to make access to this ecosystem a lot easier for people, because Ethereum is a bit of a challenge sometimes for people to deal with. And, I'm kind of blockchain agnostic. I'm not stuck to like one chain or necessarily even to one platform. So, I experiment on all of them. We released an audio visual NFT of a full song from Major One for her Project Freedom Fades on OpenSea's new storefront with 100 megabytes of space, because file size limitations have always been a problem with especially audiovisual NFTs. Ephemera is a new one that's coming out, who we've been chatting with about doing some visual related projects through DAO Records. I mean, I'm just excited to see all the different projects emerge in the space and figure out ways that we can get our I guess community more involved in just exploring the whole ecosystem as a whole.
Super dope. Bjorn, do you have a favorite platform for minting? How are you? What would you suggest if someone's looking into mint?
To be honest with you, we've been kind of focused on developing our own on the Rocki platform.
Okay.
But I'm super interested in what Vandal said, and I would love to have a offline conversation with you. How could we basically take ours and make them applicable in other platforms, right? But we've been kind of head down in building our own. So everything could happen on the Rocki platform. But I think that the end term goal is basically make it compatible where it could end up on other platforms as well, and vice versa, right? I think the music NFTs in particular should be universal, and they should be able to live from one platform to another, which I just think will benefit everyone accordingly, right? I'm more of a I think it should be just able to be exchanged and bought and traded, and so everybody can get kind of exposure of each other's fan bases and artist bases. And I think if we're really going to win this, it would be in everyone's interest to work together rather than just we're building one thing. We don't even want to talk to what these guys are building or what those guys are building.
Yeah, for sure. That's awesome. AJ, do you have a favorite platform right now, the one you're going to for minting?
No, I mean, I think we sort of believe have the same philosophy that Bjorn just described. I think we right now we're looking at social NFTs, but ultimately would want to start developing our own and do it in a way that they are they're able to move from one platform to another, right? We don't want artists and their fan bases that to be captive on our platform. We'd rather them to be able to move freely from one to another in order to just get the most value available in the marketplace. And so we don't have one that we've identified as our partner. We are looking at a few now as we go through our MVP and beta process, but there's a lot of them popping up, and so we're looking at looking at them all.
Okay, that's really awesome. A question popped up here. So this question is to Vandal. Question is, how would a person start a record label or some kind of music publishing business, blockchain based?
I would just say get on a platform that you think resonates with you and start minting your NFTs and start creating a brand around that through all your other social medias and driving people in, because we've got a lot of creators in the space at the moment, and we have collectors who are not really buying everything from everybody. So there's a lot of NFTs that are just kind of floating around. And I think that we need to start, creating markets for these through the fans of the artists. So just get involved in the community. I mean, we've got our DAO Records Discord. We're always here to help the community. There are a lot of different places where you can go. The crypto Twitter is a good one. There crypto art Twitter. That's where I started, and just reach out to the ecosystem and get the feelers out there and ask people.
Okay, so another question in general. So let's talk about the end users, So someone's watching this video of our conversation, they're interested. AJ, how does a new person, end user, how do they get down with you, an artist? What do they do? Do they go to the website? Do they follow? What's the best way?
To what? Follow what we are doing?
To engage, yes. It's an artist who would like to connect with you and would like to do some kind of business with you.
Sure. So the best way is that you can email me directly at aj@phlote.co. We're also on Twitter at Team Phlote. That's PHLOTE. And we have a website that's just right now a landing page, but that's a way to keep up to date with all that we have going on, and that's www.phlote.co. So, I mean, I think those are the ways we'll start publishing a lot of collateral over the next few weeks. And I think look, we're really in the early stages of this, and we intend to build this in public, and so there will be a lot to share and follow along with.
Super dope. Keep an eye out for my email. I'm coming for you.
Okay.
Bjorn, same question, man. So someone's been listening. They're like, yo, this is crazy. Rocki's dope. How do they get down? They want to stream your music. What's the best way to
sure.
connect?
So, Rocki is already live at rocki.app. We've been running a private beta for about 4 months now, and we have a few thousand artists and maybe up to 30,000 songs already.
Wow.
So anyone can go on rocki.app and sign up for an account and get access right away. We are just about to turn on the music upload feature to the general public. And of course, we are deep into our NFT testing right now. Next week, we're going to do a few more NFT auctions for the C1155 listening rights, and probably do some airdrops so people can test it out and see, here are the locked songs that nobody can listen to, but with this type of ERC55, we can get exclusive listening privileges. So just tune into the website, sign up, and you should be able to get going in this next week or two.
Same thing. I'll be there in a week or two. All right, I'm on it. I'm on it. This is so dope. Vandal, same to you, man. Someone's been listening. They like what DAO's all about. It's an artist. They want to get down. They want to see what the culture is like. What's the best way to be a part of what you have going on?
We got the community over on Discord, which people can find out through the website, DAOrecords.org. We're all on Twitter, Facebook, Instagram, Scent. Pretty much anywhere, DAO Records _ on Instagram and Twitter, and just everywhere.
All right, super, super dope. So I think one thing, so we're talking about all this music, we're talking about fans, we're talking about artists, we're talking about all this energy, we're talking about technology, we're talking about, so let's kind of jump into the metaverse space, right? So fans are consuming music, and artists are engaging with fans in many different ways right now. I know actively on my end, it's taking place in the metaverse. I actually think, Vandal, we're actually neighbors. I have my venues right near yours.
Yeah.
So I think we're, Lady Fee wanted us to kind of queue up our spots and, do a walkthrough of those. So I think if you have yours getting queued up, I'll do a share screen and show my space, which is called Territory. It's in Crypto Voxels. So let me do a screen share real quick and do a really quick walkthrough of that. Show you guys really quick. All right. So can you guys see that?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay. Let me hide some tabs real quick.
And
so yeah, this is my venue. I've been building this out for about, I've purchased it
so
maybe.
Cool.
Yeah, so you come in.
I hope I'm on the guest list.
Oh, for sure, always, permanently.
Yeah, what's the cover?
We just hosted the Crypto Basel after party last night, so it's pretty dope. So you come in here, we got coat check.
I love it.
Yeah, actually somebody's in here now. So the main stage, dance floor is here. You know how it works. Yeah, you got your videos, you click play, they start rocking right here. So we got the one that was from last night, the DJ set. Was here. Not gonna play the whole thing, just running that down. Yep. So that was
all
that.
Right.
Yeah. So
dope.
yeah. So we got the bar. Have it upstairs as well. Let's go up there, show you the space. So again, hey, if you guys ever want to collab, Dial, Vandal, any of you guys, AJ, Bjorn, hit me up. Let's do something. So this is what I was telling you. I've been having events here with artists and live streaming content, having shows, which is really cool with all the avatars and stuff hanging out. This is kind of, the wall of some of those promotional events that we had. I partner with a production company near me called First Live. And so they do audio. So we shoot in-studio stuff and kind of pipe things into the metaverse. We got the store, got the Kicks, merch, all that kind of stuff. Other videos and content. So that kind of stuff. So that's a space there. Definitely come through, check it out. You guys want to do something or any kind of drops, that'd be really dope. So I'll be totally into that.
Looking good. Yeah. I checked it out when I first saw you on Twitter, and it's looking like crazy now. Really
yeah, cool, super dope. So are you able to do a screen share on your end, Vandal?
Definitely. I'm gonna get a bit of sound on here. I got a couple of things that I wanted to share. So this will be the first one here. All right, so this is our partnership with New Centauro Records, which is made. Shout out to Major One and the whole crew. Truth is in the house watching. So we released her little it's mixtape party here. So this is like the link that takes you to the Spotify and all the rest of it. We had an interview with them here. We had this like live performance as well, which like let's check out a little piece of it here. Freedom Fades. So this was like recorded special for the event. Okay, the audio is not working, but that's all right. No worries. So yeah, and then this is like the link through to the NFT. So you click through, you can get the OpenSea link that brings up the NFT. Crypto voxels on my computer is crazy. So
yep.
On the laptop. But anyway, I'll move along. We also did something with Delta Trials, which is Mumbai Science. We had a nice collaboration here in our other space, which is kind of something that I've been working on a little bit more here. So this is more like a club kind of environment. We had Hexiosis who, participated in this, and we got like Sugar Club was involved in the bathroom.
Dope.
Oh, that's hard.
Typical club bathroom. I love it.
Got the secret room at the back and
Dope.
giving stuff away for our next event. What we've got coming up next, especially given the situation, I've been connected with a lot of DJs, right? And I'll stop sharing the screen now. But DJs are having a really hard time. No gigs. It's hard to monetize using any of the live streaming platforms. So we decided to do this weekly event, which is supported from some of our sponsors, the Whale Community, as well as Metacartel and DJ City Malaysia. And so we've doing a Wednesday nights in support of the DJs. We've got December is already locked down, and we're going to be moving into January and so on, as long as we can keep this running, to try and provide some extra income for DJs for live streams, which is going to be in one of our Crypto Voxels venues.
Super dope. That's super dope. AJ or Bjorn, are you guys doing anything like any metaverse-based projects at all?
No, not yet. I mean, I think that is the extension of the platform, right? And I would love to learn more about how you guys are, thinking about expanding what you're offering, because I think, if you can experience something like that with other people's avatars, I think that's a pretty interesting experience, especially, like Vandal was saying, you have live DJ sets, you have artist release parties where, they are represented by an avatar. I think the potential to sell digital merch is crazy. I don't know if, actually people can buy in your store right now.
Oh yeah.
John, but yeah, if they can, sure. I mean, of course, like if people have avatars, they're going to be, rocking, so I think there's a lot of opportunity there that, we're really excited about. We've talked to the guys at Genie's, and we think that they are sort of ahead of the curve on terms of like how they've kind of developed their business, and then the partnerships that they're developing also with brands and labels, fashion houses. But I think there's a whole, opportunity there. I mean, especially if you think about artists, again, like I was saying earlier, artists don't want to be selling merch. They're not in the fashion business, but, people want to buy things from them. And I think digital merch is a very green, sustainable way to sell, merchandise, and, something that we get really excited about. So, yeah, I think it's all super dope.
Really cool. So how about you, Bjorn? Any metaverse projects, any releases or drops, events?
No, we don't have any plans for it, but I actually had a live streaming company 5 years ago called Groovio, which was completely too early, but it was basically a typical Twitch or Facebook Live where the DJ could connect his equipment, go live for an audience, and donate money in real time. 6 months post our launch, Facebook Live came along and they completely crushed us. But I always loved that live space industry, and I think the whole metaverse is just it's just the future, right? So I'm not sure if we will be building something ourselves, but I would love to participate to what Vandal is doing and see if we could showcase some of our artists on there and tie it into NFTs or merch. And that is for sure the way that the future is going.
Yeah, that's dope. Well, hey, we're both here. We have venues, so let's collab.
Yeah,
Hit us
for
up.
sure.
Let's make it happen. We have a question too, Vandal. So as far as metaverses, who did your build on your spot?
I did.
Wow.
Okay, all right.
Took a lot of work. Actually, like I wouldn't say that I'm like compared to some of the other people in the space who are doing stuff, I'm just a lightweight builder. I've just had a lot of time to practice, I guess, over the past, I don't know how many months I've gotten to crypto voxels. So I don't want to be the one building all the time. So I'm trying to get a crew of builders to come in and bring in people and help train them or whatever it takes for anybody out there. And shout out to my world out there who's been like crazy asking me questions about how you can get stuff built in the metaverse. So we got a few things brewing. But yeah, like I've been just pretty much doing everything.
I feel you, man. I feel you. I did my build as well. My background, day job, visual artist and designer. So that's kind of what I do in that space. So I did my build as well and spent some, about a year and a half, almost 2 years kind of figuring out, how it takes a while to get it all dialed in, move that there. Okay, cool. So another question came in. I think it's for you, AJ, asked about what are the opportunities with genies?
With Genies, yeah.
Yes.
So Genies is an avatar company that's right now available to a limited number of people. They have, I believe, just announced a partnership with Phlote blockchain and Dapper Labs, and I think the conversation that we've had with them is super early and is mainly introductory. But I think we'd love to eventually evolve to a place where we either have built our own metaverse or collaborate and partner with someone like you, and then bring Genie's technology in to allow their avatars to hang out there.
Yeah, that's super dope. This has been an amazing conversation, gentlemen. And what's really cool is everyone's in their own lane, but it supports the entire ecosystem. Right. You're talking about the artist, the platform of the stream, and the label, and because the production as well. I mean, you're producing all these artists as well, right, Vandal?
Yeah, I haven't done as much production as I would like to. School, I'm stuck in 92, I guess, on W30 and all the hard stuff. But I've got a little project that I've got coming out, which is going to be kind of an experimental thing. I can kind of tease it here, which is called the Rare Vandal. It's a NFT project, incorporating some of my old beats I produced in 95 that I'm going to be kind of putting out there, as well as some unreleased stuff. And this is going to be strictly NFT.
Super, super dope. So any project or anything you guys have upcoming that you want to plug or just kind of tell the people about in general? This is the opportunity. Go for it. Bjorn, anything you want to plug in particular?
Next week we're going to do some more of our NFT auctions, right, for the ERC 1155 listening rights. And we're going to probably airdrop a bunch of those tokens so anybody can, try it out and see for themselves that, hear our music that is locked. I can't listen to it. But now I got the access token and I can add it to my playlist. I can play it. So follow us on Twitter, Rocki app, for more information on that. And hopefully that will be something that the community and artists and fans alike sees as valuable.
Super, super dope. AJ, anything you want to plug or promote or share?
Sure. Yeah, sure. I think, in terms of, where we are, we're building our curation community. So, if you are a super fan of music and have a good ear for it, we'd love to hear from you. You can hit us at, on Twitter at Team Phlote, email me directly, aj@phlote.co, or on the website. And then I think the other thing I'd say is, tonight, our first artist that we're bringing through our process, KP Cannons, is releasing on SoundCloud. So follow him at KP Cannons on Instagram and follow along with the journey. So yeah, just, excited to be moving forward and really excited to meet all you guys.
Yeah, for sure. Yeah, this has been awesome. Look forward to the future. Again, keep an eye. I'll be reaching out to you guys. I'm all about, meeting, collaborating, kind of pushing things forward. This has been awesome. Thank you for taking the time, guys.
Yo,
Yeah, thank you.
No, thank you. Thanks, Lady Fee.
Gentlemen, this was awesome. Thanks for hanging out with us at Crypto Basel. You've certainly given us a lot of food for thought. Ra and Vandal, or John Block and Vandal, man, your places are so fire. I had no idea you guys actually built that yourselves.
yeah, thanks.
Jeez, I'm super blown away.
DIY.
Yeah, it's like, yo, if you should definitely link up with AJ and Bjorn, especially AJ wants to try to build out his own metaverse. AJ, that's quite an undertaking. That's its own
no.
business.
Yeah, no, I'm not going to do that. Yeah,
Be better off building.
I'm going to partner with John.
Yeah, right.
Yeah, us too.
For sure.
You know, with your like background in business and such, what might be a nice idea is if you just buy the block, you know, have one strip, you know, Vegas like strip where it's just
Right.
nightclubs. And
Dope.
Vandal loves the 90s, so his club could be all about that nostalgia and that like funk and dope ass beats from the 90s, whether it be Toronto or like Brooklyn or LA sound or you know, wherever. That would be fresh, right? That little like being
So
really niche down. And then like John, you've got your own vibe there with a lot of independent artists and even like after parties. Your spot could be like the after party venue, the like special releases venue for whatever.
Let's go.
You know,
Let's go. I'm in.
there's
I'm
a
in.
lot of good energy here in this panel, a lot of good ideas. You're all doing really important work. I personally feel, you know, super lucky from being able to hear more of what you're doing. Vandal, you're doing some really cool stuff. You're literally like the only like legit music label on the blockchain, right? I mean, like, are you pretty much?
I don't know. I don't even want to consider us a label, to be honest. It's more than that. Like every artist is their own label. We just want to try and facilitate that. But you know, you got to start where you start, and the hybrid model, I guess, is the one that people are used to. So that's where we go in.
Yeah. Well, you know, congrats to you. Hats off to you. You know, from what I understand, you're pretty much the only one of your kind in the space doing what you're doing, and also, you know, fiercely championing that artists are, you know, representing themselves, are able to, you know, eat and prosper from their efforts. So yeah, big ups to you and what you're doing. Truly a pioneer in the space. And I love what Bjorn and AJ are up to. I definitely look forward to seeing more. And then of course, John, you're producing music. So I look forward to going to more parties at Territory. I really had a great time. Your merch situation is outstanding, by the way.
Thanks.
I might want you to build some t-shirts for me. I feel like I need a tennis shoe just to have it up and around in CryptoVoxels. Yeah, it was really fresh. Yeah, it was really fresh. I appreciate your guys' time and your efforts out there in the creative space, and just, you know, may everything that you're doing be highly blessed, and may all the artists who come across your guys' path prosper and continue winning. Thank you guys. We'll see you for the next session. The next session is going to be fire too. Listen, this whole Crypto Basel has been fire. I'm not just saying that because Coldy and I, you know, put this on, but it really has been fire. And for everyone who doesn't understand the terms, you know, feel free to slide in our DMs. Also, feel free to just do your Googles, as they say, as the youngsters say. And yeah, next session is called Ancestral Cyborg. So yeah, don't miss it. Great. It is definitely going to be fire. So bringing you music and film and culture here in this panel. We've had a really great time. Please go back and review all the sessions. And then again, smash the like button, actually destroy it, like break your computer hitting that like button and subscribe. We definitely want to hear positive feedback and constructive criticism. Consider yourselves family and important members of the creative crypto community, and most certainly the Universe Contemporary community. We appreciate you all. See you at 11.